Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is SATAL 2020. I'm your host, Moltar, and we are watching, or going to be watching, Golden Crown taking on Eclipse Task Force. Tomcats against Thunder. Well, not all Tomcats, but more Tomcats than usual, and lots of Thunder. So let's see who is flying today. Flip over, take a look at Eclipse Task Force. We got Dizzy, Breeze, and Riker in JF-17's Aspen, and another 17, Nate Dogg, and another 17, and there's somebody else floating around. We got Kingston and another 17. So 6 JF-17s, lots of fence posts, ST-10s, coming from them being launched by those Thunder. And then moving over to check out, camera's got to load, check out Golden Crown. We have Rhino, Grippin in F-14s, Gunslinger, and Archangel in 16s, Fuji in an 18. And then looking back here, another Tomcat with Fairy. I do not know who the Rios are in this matchup. If any of the guys that are flying in today's matchup want to put that information down, that would be much appreciated. But we do have first-person cameras going on. So we've got Rhino on camera 3 and Breeze on camera 4. We do have head tracking right now. I'm going to try and not ruin it by fucking something up. So we will see. Moltar almost always fucks something up. So hopefully I don't do that. But we do have first-person cameras. And, guys, I'm going to warn you right now, we're probably not going to have a match tomorrow so that I can dive into VMix and try and get it to work. And get it to work for Wednesday. So just want everybody to know there's probably not going to be a match tomorrow. We're probably going to do, I'm going to work on VMix and see if I can get it to work. And then when we come back, we will have, 8 to 12 first-person cameras, 1 to 2 third-person cameras, and TAC view, all at the same time. I don't know anybody else on Twitch that does a stream like that, so hopefully I can make it happen. I'm excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it. Hopefully it works, and I don't royally screw something up. But it looks like these guys are rolling. At least Eclipse Task Force is rolling as Breeze leads Eclipse Task Force off with Riker on his left side. It does not look... Oh, there goes Gunslinger. So we can see Gunslinger and Archangel rolling for Golden Crown. Grippin and Rhino getting ready to take off. Zex, I don't think chat's lonely. There's a lot of people chatting. Maybe you're just lonely. It's empty because you joined late. There were people talking, but now they're engaged in the richness of DCS. So typing isn't as big of a thing as soon as these guys start to roll. This should be an interesting match. It should. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, the ST-10s can kind of match the range of the Phoenix. We're going to have to see how that goes. But we do have a bit of an ingress because this is Mozdok taking on Krasnodar. So Mozdok, Krasnodar. Mozdok, Krasnodar. So we're going to fast forward this a bit. Get this fast forward so we don't have to wait through this ingress because it is a long ingress coming in here. I think it's, how far is this ingress? This ingress is about 115 miles. So 140 to 150 miles round trip. What, isn't this real-time live gameplay? No, this isn't live gameplay. This is all tracks, brother. We do that so we don't have to worry about screen sniping or scheduling or anything like that. The guys submit their tracks, and I'd work my magic and wizardry to bring everything to you guys in as close to real-time as possible, because if I didn't tell you guys these were tracks or replays, I don't think anybody would actually know. So you've got real-time telemetry, you've got first-person cameras, you've got third-person cameras, you've got maps. I mean, What could be better? What could be better? So these guys are getting closer. 80 miles now. We're going to be slowing this down. Okay. Make sure we're all synced up. Oh my God, what happened? Tac view. What have you done? There we go. All right, I got to pause this. Okay, we're paused. I got to sync up these cameras right quick. They got a little bit out of sync. There we go. There we go. Okay, so this is how we sit after the ingress. We've got Golden Crown over here to the left or the west, and the Eclipse Task Force over to the right. Golden Crown is much more concentrated than Eclipse Task Force, and Golden Crown launches the first missile with Rhino in his Rio, launching an AIM-54 Mark 47. This is B weapon restriction. This is not A. And I think Eclipse Task Force is the home team, which makes sense for them to pick B because it gives them a distance advantage with the SD-10. Instead of competing against the Mark 60, they're competing against the Mark 47 and the AIM-120B. So let's hit play, get this going. We are going to hit pause periodically to take a look at situations and kills and so on and so forth. So let's see how this is going to go. Here we go. So we've got an AIM-54 out from Rhino. Here she is. Get rid of Moltar's face. Here she is cruising. It is a Mark 47 at 1,500 knots. And a Mark 60 it is not. So distance-wise, they are not made from the same cloth. The Mark 60 has an enormous range in comparison to even the Mark 47. And we saw the Mark 47 having a little bit of an aneurysm. Its guidance system short-circuited there for a second. I have no idea what it actually does, but it doesn't do something correctly as it arcs up like that and bleeds crap tons of energy, and then it goes into terminal guidance, and no idea what it's doing but bleeding energy. So it is dead. That missile is toast. SD-10 out now from Riker, and that is coming, it looks like, onto Fuji right here. So let's grab it. And the SD-10, ladies and gentlemen, is a missile that is much bigger than people think it is. It is a large missile. It is big. It's a big boy, and it maintains its energy state quite well at high altitude. So this thing's coming in on Fuji. Here it is. Fuji is not maneuvering yet. Grabbing Fuji's aircraft. Fuji here. So Fuji is not maneuvering. Go to split screen. Fuji is on the right. Missile obviously is on the left, and it is 10 miles away from Fuji. Fuji still has all 3 of his tanks left. Hasn't launched any weapons, so he still has a full load. And that SD-10 is at 1,200 knots, and now Fuji's getting the launch warning. Not the launch warning, but the pit bull warning, and is defending aggressively. Good defensive maneuver, does a split S, jumps a little bit of chaff. You really don't need to do that because you're going to out-energy the missile at this point. Dumping chaff is just wasting your countermeasures. Don't do that, guys. If you're flying, don't waste your countermeasures. Just out-energy the missile. You got to recognize that missile's not under power at this point, so nope. Oh, my God, it's going to... Oh, wow! I did not expect it to get that close to Fuji, but that thing maneuvers quite well at low speed. Quite well at low speed. So that missile got dangerously close to its intended target. AIM-54 now coming out from Gunslinger. AIM-54 out from Gripen. And this is the dead AIM-54 that was launched from Rhino a long time ago. But this missile's already down to about Mach 1. South one's down to about Mach 1. Those things are trashed as Dizzy and Aspen come into him. Breeze and Riker have broken away. They're defending that one that came from Gripen. But nobody really yet willing to get into the nitty-gritty and get into the knife fight. Yeah, Monk, SD-19, is that like a better missile than we're used to? SD-10 is no joke. That thing can make things happen and do them in a big way. Now Nate Dogg launching an SD-10 onto Fuji. Here is Fuji. Fuji is the guy we saw defending earlier. He's got an SD-10 now, Mach 4, ingressing for his face. Will we see a face smile? Or will Fuji again evade? He evaded very well on the first missile. Are we going to see a repeat here? We can see some aircraft contrails. We don't see the missile. He throws, just yeets that tank into the oblivion as he flips over. Is it bad in real life to jettison your tank when you're inverted? I would assume so, because it wants to fall away, and when you're inverted, it doesn't, unless you're pulling down. So what happens if you yeet them when you're inverted? I would think bad things. Bad things would probably be about to happen if you did that. What just happened? Did Rhino crash? Did his track desync? What happened there? Because his... that shouldn't have happened. Interesting. I think he desynced. Well, that's not good. Yeah. In the track, he crashed. Thanks, DCS! We're trying. We're trying, guys. But we'll continue. Continuing. No, it wasn't a team kill. He's still alive. It's desync is what it is in the track, which is unfortunate. Oh, last week? Yeah, there were a lot of team kills last week. Lots of team kills last week. But nothing has happened so far. Let's pause. What am I looking at? Oh, look at this. I didn't want to miss this. I had a note about this. SD-10 coming on into Ferry, and Ferry is right here. The SD-10. Ferry, you are in a world of trouble. Where's that SD-10? SD-10 is about 3.3 miles behind him. Let's hit play. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We are oh, and Ferry gets hit, so that missile was actually closer. SD-10s as of recently have had a bit of desync, and Ferry gets pounded. He gets taken to school, gets caught too high against the incoming fence post, and gets his wings clipped off. He still has all four of his Phoenix. So that is a huge hit to Golden Crown as they lose their first aircraft. Reminder, Rhino is not dead. He's still alive, but Ferry goes down. That is not a good start for them here. Not a good start at all. Reminder again, Rhino is still alive. Missile coming out from Archangel now. Where'd that go? It's a 120 on, it looks like it's on Breeze. So here is Breeze. Breeze is going to be defending. He's getting the missile warning now. You can see the label for it. He's defending. And I think he'll be okay. Yeah, Breeze is full cold now. We can see that on TAC view, and that 120B just doesn't have the stuff to be able to catch him. SD-10 now coming on to Archangel. Archangel launches another missile. He is starting to defend. Is that going to be enough, though? Where is it? Where is it? It's out here somewhere. It's out here somewhere. Oh, and Archangel goes into the ground. So Archangel actually doesn't get hit, but flies into the ground, and the ground continues its massive kill-to-death streak of undeniably being undefeated. And let's back up and see what happened here on TAC view. So Archangel launches a missile onto Breeze, and then I think he actually waits a while to try and get a missile off. Yeah, he waits. He tries to wait to get a 120 off. He is at 6,000 feet. And split S's from 6,000 feet, they don't work out too well. They usually result in you flying into the ground, and that's exactly what happens to Archangel as he tries to split S without the needed altitude and plows and digs his own grave. And unfortunately, the F-16 is not a tractor. It doesn't do too well. Ground continues its utter and complete dominance over the aircraft and chalks another W up with the victory. So we've gotten 2 quick losses. Ferry died to an SD-10. And we can actually back up and see that one. So Ferry's right here. He dies to an SD-10 launched from Nate Dogg. How fast is this? No, that one's actually on Fuji. SD-10 launched from Kingston. Mach 3 when it's halfway there. Maintains energy quite well. By the time it gets close to his aircraft, it's actually closer than we see it here on TAC view. It's going to be about Mach 1.5, and Ferry gets blindsided as he's still at 12,000 feet, guys. You have to anticipate these shots as they come in. You have to. If you get caught by a Phoenix or an SD-10 or really any missile at 12,000 feet and it has any type of energy left, you're going to be dead. You're going to go home in a body bag, or you're going to need 2 body bags for an F-14 because of the Rio. But you don't want to get caught. I mean, how far away was he? Kingston, 20, 30 miles. Oh, that's a long shot. 31,000 feet. Mach 4. So the SD-10 just maintains its energy really, really well. And Ferry just doesn't turn around. He carries on. Missiles at 40. He's actually at 20,000 feet. So he's just too high for too long, and he gets taken down. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. But now we're down to a 6v4. Remaining pilots for Golden Crown are Rhino, Gripen, Gunslinger, and Archangel. Get the TAC view caught back up. Here we go. Jumping back into the action. There we go. And it looks like Breeze is still trying to defend an incoming threat. He's still dragging a missile somewhere back behind him. Yeah, it's this 120 right here. Still on Breeze. It looks like he just broke missile lock for it. Nate Dogg sends a SD-10. Looks like that one is on Gripen. He's ingressing now against Gripen and Gunslinger as a singleton. A little bit worried about his positioning. He is very isolated from everybody around him. Here is his aircraft. Jettisons those tanks. He's still got 2 SD-10s on him and 2 PL-5s. He is now one-on-one, mano-a-mano with Gunslinger. Is he going to be able to make something happen in this one-on-one situation that's coming or taking place now? Both pilots, well, Gunslinger actually looks like he's breaking off. Nate Dogg may be able to make something happen. He launches an SD-10. That's not a bad launch. How far away was he at that launch? 5 miles. Gunslinger is in Pain Train inbound, and it is somewhere behind him. Just came off a boost. Here it comes. And right behind him, is it going to catch him? Yes. Unlubricated tail shot. Gunslinger goes down, and things have gone from bad to worse to catastrophic for Golden Crown. They are down to 3 pilots now. 3v6. This is terrible from them. And now, if we look up here to the north, Breeze has launched an SD-10 just now onto Rhino. SD-10 onto Rhino. Rhino is low. How high is Breeze? Breeze is at 6,000 feet, about co-altitude. And they are, how far away are they? They are 10 miles. And Rhino looks like he's actually turning back into Breeze. That could be a problem. Oh, look at this. Look at that one. So Breeze actually put one onto Fuji, and Fuji looks like he's about to get bamboozled or blindsided by this SD-10. We missed that coming from Breeze. Where is it? Oh, dear. Oh, dear, oh, my. SD-10, 2 miles away. Fuji is turning into it. Oh, no. Oh, no. Fuji. I hope you know what's about. He's got to be able to see that through his canopy and recognize that he is about ready to be obliterated. Here we go. And Fuji takes it, gets taken down, and now instead of it being a 3v6, it is a 2v6. Grippin and Rhino are the only two remaining for Golden Crown, and Eclipse Task Force has 6 pilots still in the air. Count them, 6. Riker, Breeze, Kingston, Nate Dogg, Dizzy, and Aspen, and Rhino and Grippin are all by themselves. All by themselves. Oh, and then Grippin disconnects. No! Now Rhino is all by himself. This is terrible. Terrible. 1v6. The gangbang, I think, is about to commence. And Rhino has no Phoenixes remaining. He's got 4 AIM-9s. So he doesn't even have enough missiles to do anything for the entirety of his opposition. He'd have to utilize his gun. He's now running from Eclipse Task Force. Can we have a mercy rule? It's not a bad idea, but I don't think the competitors are going to want that. Rhino's still running from Breeze and Riker. Breeze has 1 SD-10 remaining. He is the one leading the charge against Rhino. Rhino is very low. He's Saunter right now. Well, he's Buster right now. Not Saunter, Buster. Full RPM, non-blower. He's making it a little bit easier for his opposition to catch him as he does this slow ingress or slow recommit back into his enemy. So he's shortening the intercept for Riker or for Breeze and Riker. Breeze is coming down from altitude. He's at 20,000 feet. Rhino's at 1,000 feet. We see him back there, 10 miles away. And Breeze has, well, Riker has 0.5 Mach. Riker has half a Mach closure speed on Rhino. And Breeze is accelerating here. Breeze has half a Mach closure rate on Rhino as well. They're just waiting to try and get a launch on. SD-10 coming from Riker. Is that going to be able to catch Breeze? Breeze now defending. Or excuse me, Rhino now defending. SD-10 is 2.5 miles away. Is he going to be able to out-energy it? He's serpentining. It's about all he can do at this point. Missiles down to 1.5. It's a mile away now. Looks like he's going to be able to out-energy it. No problem. Riker breaks away. That leaves Breeze all on his own up here to the north in a 1v1 against Rhino. Rhino's recommitting now, face on into Breeze. Breeze launches an SD-10 onto Rhino. Rhino, I don't think, is going to have time. Oh, he gets an AIM-9 off. SD-10 is half mile away. Face mile. Rhino gets taken down, and the AIM-9 was actually on Riker. If it was on Breeze, he was able to get away from it. So Breeze able to run down Rhino. Actually, no. Rhino has not gone down yet. He's got a flame out on one of his engines. And Breeze is now recommitting, I think, somewhere. There it is. And now PL5 coming into Rhino to finish him off. We can see it in the cockpit view. From Breeze, is it going to impact? I don't think it's going to catch him. And he's going to have to continue to run down Rhino. He's still behind him. He's got one more PL5 left. 2 miles behind Rhino now. And Rhino he's missing an engine, and I think he just lost hydraulics. No, he still has hydraulics, and he got hit by something. I think it was something hit him. But now he's dead. He flew into the ground, and Rhino is no more after getting taken down and run down by Breeze. Monk, AIM-9s? He had 3 AIM-9s, but he didn't have the energy to recommit. My D hit him. You must have a big D to be able to reach into a virtual field and smack people in the face. But great job. Great job by Eclipse Task Force there. Great job. Tomcat died very hard. Lakel puts a dart in it, puts a pin or a nail in the last one. Yeah, Tomcat got smashed there at the end. Nothing really Rhino could do. That was about all he could do, was try to make something happen, recommit. Didn't have any Phoenix, so he had to get close. But well done. Nah, you're not going to get muted. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. You know, you're not insulting anybody. It's Rotor. You're not insulting anybody. You know, you comments like that, perfectly fine. That's all good. It's all good here. We're here to have a good time. We're here to have a really good time. And sometimes I get a little unhinged, and I can get a little bit grotesque, if you will. But let's fast forward as these guys have their egress now all the way back to Mozdok, all the way home. And that's unfortunate about Rhino's track. That's sad. This is only a game to have some fun, so all is valid. Yeah. As long as you're not being a dick, and that is, you don't violate that rule, it's all good. Breeze says he had 60 pounds left when he landed. Ooh. Don't care about the tankers. 60 pounds. Looks like Breeze is rejoining with somebody. He's rejoining with Riker. Flies by Riker, goes up inverted. There we go. Now he's back in trail. Not bad. Let's see that formation flying, Breeze. Let's see it. I want to see it. I really like the live tack feed. I do too. I'm glad we can make it work. It's not neat. I bought my first module, and now I really enjoy. Dude, what you need you didn't. Let me compose my thoughts here before I try and speak. So you didn't enjoy the TF51 or the SU25? What module did you get, Rotor, if you don't mind me asking? It's not, he doesn't only have fun roundabout, he has addiction waiting for him. F-18. F-18 is a solid module. It's a solid module. I hate flying it because to me it flies like a dump truck. I just don't. I like the F-16. I'm more of a one module guy. I fly one thing, and that's all I fly. I used to fly the Su-27. Before that, it was the A-10. I like the F-16. I don't have time for my flying to be able to get that many modules in. How come they are doing landings? Maybe me misunderstanding. It is about PvP, but in air combat, we're going to slow this down now. In air combat, fuel is part of the equation. If you run out of fuel, you're dead. And because this is a competitive match, right, the fuel is part of that. And we don't want people just going in and yeeting all their missiles, throwing all their missiles at the bandits, taking them down, and then running out of fuel and blowing up. That, to me, is not a hardcore, conclusive win. You must kill your opponent and then RTB. Now, if the other team says, hey, we don't need you to RTB, obviously you don't have to. But you must be able to get back to your base if the team inherently wants you to go back. There are tankers here, but they're so close to the base that it's not really a problem. We had to put them outside the bubble. We may change and do something a little bit next year, but that's how things are right now. Yeah. Isa, there is no... So, what you guys see here, for anybody that doesn't know, what you guys see here with labels and stuff and external views, the pilots can't see that. They can only see in their cockpit. They have no labels. They can't see their own aircraft or any other aircraft on the F-10 map, so you have to be able to navigate. It's realism, right? We take away all of the pilot aids and the flight aids because we want to find out who the best pilots and who the best teams are. So that's what SATAL is all about. Next season after this season, I talked a little bit about it in Discord. We're going to have many more ladders. So Lakel actually brings this up with more things, possible reasons to bring smaller, cheaper aircraft like F5s. Next year, I'm going to have ladders dictating more eras and stuff. So we'll have 1v1 ladders that focus on World War II, Korea, Cold War, modern. All of that will be possible. And I don't have to manage them because they're ladders. So teams can sign up and manage their own stuff. And there's not schedules because it's a ladder. So teams can do whatever they want to do. So there'll be those BFM ladders. Then there'll be 2v2 ladders. Then there'll be team ladders, 4v4 and 6v6. SATAL will still be a thing. We're going to shorten the season, I think, from 8 rounds to 5 and shorten it a little bit. And it's going to be more like the World Cup. So the group stages are going to be group stages, and it's going to take the top 2 out of each group stage to go to the championship or SATAC. So this year was a little bit different. I tried something else. It didn't work out quite as well. So we're going to go back and do the group stage thing, and then we're going to have ladders on top of that to facilitate the shorter season. And if teams want to fly more, they can utilize the ladders. I'm also going to be utilizing the ladders to get ratings for teams and then create smaller tournaments that may or may not have prizes, probably won't, but that allow teams with specific ratings or individuals with specific ratings in the 1v1 sphere to be able to compete against others of their same rating, if you get what I mean. So you're not always going to be flying against the best in the world or average Joes. You're going to be fighting in those tournaments against teams of your or individuals of your own caliber. So that I think is really interesting. I can't look at your fuel state, Breeze, because I don't want to lose your first-person view, but I'm sure it's very low. I'm sure it is very, very low. Just watching these guys finish up an RTB, didn't want to miss the landing. And this is actually going to be could be a very short stream today because of all the fast forwarding. I'm trying to condense things for YouTube. I'm trying to get more of an audience on YouTube. So I'm trying to condense things and make them faster so people aren't spending 3 hours watching. And I don't want you guys to waste your time trying to make these streams nice and compact. So you get on, get your air-to-air combat action, your competitive action, and go from there. Is JG78 next year in? That's up to them if they're in or not. Teams are able to enter or not enter at their own convenience. I see you've asked that like 6 times, Zex. Yeah, Major Havoc, they do need some work, but SATAL this year has run virtually entirely on its own, so it's been really nice. Teams have done a really good job of taking care of themselves. They're able to use the DCS World Events servers, which is what I'm going to use for the ladders, so the teams can or individuals can log in, get their matches. The missions will always be there. People don't have to worry about their opposition cheating with using TACView live real-time telemetry or whatever. You're able to just do it all using the resources that I put up there. As far as is there a TeamSpeak? No. I've talked to teams about doing stuff like that, and people are really hesitant about allowing others to listen to their comms. I would like it to be a thing, but it's been very wishy-washy for teams wanting it or not. I'd like it, though. It's Rotor. Why are you using TeamSpeak? TeamSpeak actually has better voice codecs than Discord. And there's things that you can do in TeamSpeak as a voice client that Discord still can't do. So I still prefer TeamSpeak, personally. Discord is great, but it's missing a lot of features that TeamSpeak offers, which is unfortunate. And Breeze puts it down, solidifies that match after Nate Dogg put it down for Eclipse Task Force. So, guys, I'm going to send you back to the Supercut. Probably be right back screen so I can get the next match or everything. Not next match, next round ready to go. Hopefully Golden Crown will be able to come back so we can go to round 3. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back in the air. We're really close to things getting kicked off. We actually have a couple missiles already in the air. Just trying to condense everything down so that we can jump into the action without everybody just hanging out and watching these guys ingress. We have seen that time and time again. The first-person camera is Nate Dogg. He's the only one I have up right now. I'm kind of getting disheartened by the amount of track failures, that we keep running into. So what this is leading me to think that I should be doing is instead of first-person tracks, I should be going back and utilizing the main track and just give you guys like an F4 view like this. So give you guys like an F4 view zoomed out. Maybe with a zoomed out so you guys can see what's going on for each individual pilot. Riker, I don't have yours on here. I'm not necessarily just picking what the teams want me to put on. I'm picking what I want to put on because I don't want to just showcase who's flying the best and so on and so forth because your gameplay was off the rail. Yeah, maybe. But I think what I'm going to try and do, which I think is actually better for being able to see what's going on, is things like this with what Nate Dogg is showing or on camera 1. I think this is easier to see what's going on. We can't see where he's looking, but I think it's better to be able to gain from a viewer standpoint of what actually is going on around him and in combat and so on and so forth. Because the more I look at the first-person cameras, the less you're able to see because of the field of view and all that stuff. So we're going to see what I end up doing, but that's a high possibility that we're going to see a view similar to Nate Dogg's of every jet that's flying or every combatant that is flying. But we're going to hit play. Nobody's died yet. We are 48 minutes into this match. They didn't take off until like 33 minutes. So we're 48 minutes in. Here we go. All right. So we are underway. Currently, Gunslinger and Fuji are very far into the Eclipse Task Force lines, as well as Archangel and Griffin. And we are actually... Oh, Rhino and Challenger are way back here. Look how far away Rhino and Challenger are. They are so far out of the engagement. I'm really worried that they are going to be able to do anything from this far away before something happens up here. Because right now it's a 6v4. Eclipse Task Force has 6 pilots in the area just over Bullseye, and Golden Crown only has 4. So really worrying the position that Golden Crown has put themselves in right now. Riker, Kingston, and Breeze are in a scuffle against Gunslinger and Fuji, so 3v2 here to the south, and then up to the north, because I'm not counting Gripping, see so far away. We have a 3v1. Archangel taking on Nate Dogg, Dizzy, and Aspen. But really it's going to be a 1v1 with Nate Dogg recommitting here. We can see him here recommitting against Archangel. Lighten that afterburner. Archangel still running away. And they are separated by right around... How far away are these guys from one another? They're 13 miles away. So they are within SD-10 range. Archangel, if he got launched on but at this range, would have to do some serpentining to try and get away from an incoming threat. Breeze, meanwhile, down here to the south, thought about coming in against Fuji, but recognized that he got a little too isolated or was by himself a bit too far and would have been a 1v3 and is smartly turned around. Back up here to the north, Archangel thought about recommitting, but all that did when he made that decision to almost recommit and then break back away, it just increased the closure rate for Nate Dogg. So when if you guys do this in real sim, you got to make sure that you're committing to something, because when you waffle like this, you're just increasing the closure rate for your opponent and the missile. SD-10 now coming in onto Archangel, and that's going to be a dangerous shot. That is a very dangerous shot. Here's the SD-10 coming on Nate Dogg or onto Archangel. 4.5 miles, 3 miles now. It's still got a lot of juice on it. Under a mile. Archangel is in a world of trouble. He's not notching, not committing any type of defense, and I think he's going to be the first casualty. He's going to go down. as that one connects with his aircraft, and Archangel spins out of control in his ninja squirrel fodder. He is gone. And that just came down to him waffling around up there. We're going to pause it and go back and take a look. Make sure everything pauses. Yep. So let's back up and take a look at what happened there. So here's Archangel, and he does this, like, thinks about recommitting to his right, decides, no, I don't like that, and then comes back around to the left. And maybe he's defending this SD-10 that's trashed, and he thinks it's more of a problem than it actually is. But then he banks around to the left, and all he's doing, like I said earlier, when waffling around in this situation, he's increasing the closure rate for things that are trying to run him down. So he recommits. Problem with recommitting into 180 degrees into a bandit, it's already hot. He sees you, but you don't see him. So you have to recommit, find him, and launch, and all he has to do is launch. And that spells disaster for Archangel. He gets launched on. I guess he maybe tried to find Nate Dogg at this point, recognizing his gig was probably up. Doesn't commit to any type of defense. He has to notch here to be able to get away from this missile. Doesn't. And it connects with him. And his aircraft, instead of being one solid piece, is in pieces all over the Georgian mountains. So he gets taken down as the first casualty. And still, Challenger and Rhino are not to the fight yet. Still, they're not to the fight yet. I think this is disastrous for their side. This is a prime, and I don't remember if they did this in round one, but I think this is going to be a primary indicator of how this round's going to go. Them not committing into the fight with the rest of their team. Riker now coming in onto Gunslinger. He sends a missile out to Gunslinger. Gunslinger's got to try. He launched. He waited. Why did he wait? 120B. Here it comes. That's his 120B. Where is it? It's behind him. There it is. Half mile. So he waited. Is that going to spell doom? I think it is. He waited. And if he hadn't waited, I think he would have been able to get away from that missile. But he waited. Why did he wait? Why? Why wait? Gunslinger. You saw him wait. He hesitated to get that missile off. And since he hesitated, it gave the missile that much more time to close the distance on him, and he got ramrodded. And meanwhile, while that was happening, we actually had two other guys go down. So we had Kingston take down Fuji. Let's back up and see if we can see it. Kingston takes down Fuji right here. So Fuji gets hit by this SD-10 that comes from Kingston. How far away is that? Under 10 miles. These guys are just not respecting the SD-10. Sorry, you guys didn't see that. Not respecting the SD-10. They're getting in close, and they're trying to out-energy it. And out-energying a missile that has this much energy, and you're this close, it's just not going to happen. Flat out not going to happen. Fuji tries to do it. Oh, he does. He actually out-energies it. I'm talking out my ass. So he gets by that SD-10, launches a 120. Looked like that one was going for breeze. He gets away from that one. Gets away from a second one. He's able to notch right across the nose of that missile. And now he's back into a head-on incursion with Kingston. This time it's under 7 miles. He's 6 miles. He hesitates to get that 120 off. And I think it's going to be a replay of what happened with Riker and Gunslinger. And he gets hit. He hesitates and then actually recommits into the missile. And when you recommit, you solve all of the problems for the missile. If he would have broken away, that missile may have run itself out of energy as it had to turn to try and stay with them, but he recommits into it, I guess thinking that missile was dead, but it wasn't dead, says hello, and takes Fuji out. So Fuji gets taken down, and then Challenger, who hadn't even made it to the engagement area, disconnects. So Challenger might as well have not even have taken off because he was so late getting to the fight 2 people had already died. 3 people had already died, excuse me, before he even got here, and then he disconnects. That is not a good happening of events for Golden Crown. 6 pilots still remaining for Eclipse Task Force, and Grippin and Rhino are the only ones left. Only ones left for Golden Crown. And Nate Dogg looks like... Is he trying to get a commitment? No, he's cold. I thought he was trying to get a commitment onto Grippin, but he didn't. So let's play this. There we go. There's a 4-ship now. Nate Dogg, Breeze, Riker, and Kingston against the singleton of Grippin. Breeze here is recommitting against Grippin. Grippin is at 6,000 feet. Breeze is at 9,000 feet and climbing. AIM 54 off of Grippin's aircraft onto Nate Dogg, or maybe I think it's actually on Riker. Grippin is now broken away and is cold. Is Riker going to be able to get away from that AIM 54? AIM 54 is dead. So it's not tracking anybody. Flew right by. Riker broke away, lost lock. Good defensive flying by Eclipse Task Force. They have yet to take a casualty. No one from Eclipse Task Force has gone down yet. Breeze is still committed onto Grippin. Running him down. Grippin full cold. Buster. He's got 1 AIM 54, 2 AIM 7s, and 2 AIM 9s remaining. Meanwhile, up to the north, Rhino is in no man's land. So Breeze continuing to run down Grippin. Nate Dogg on Grippin. Rhino, I guess, is looking to try and make something happen up here to the north. Possibly with Dizzy. So here's Rhino. 2 F-14s for Golden Crown remaining. And Dizzy is going to be up here to the north somewhere. AIM 54 now off from Rhino. SD-10 off from Aspen. Aspen breaks away. I guess they saw that missile launch coming from Rhino's aircraft and are defensively maneuvering now, Aspen and Dizzy, against that incoming Phoenix. Meanwhile, Rhino is not defending against that SD-10. SD-10 and AIM 54 should be passing right about now. AIM 54 is on Aspen. So Dizzy just carries on. Dizzy is now head on with Rhino. Rhino still not defending against the SD-10 that's inbound for his face. It is well above him. I think it actually lost lock. There's a second SD-10 coming in from below him. He's defending that one. So Rhino now defending the second SD-10 that was launched from Dizzy. Dizzy, I think, is recognizing nothing is on him. He can see the contrails from Rhino's aircraft and is now committed into him. Both combatants are now back into one another. Riker, meanwhile, coming in from the south, launching onto Rhino. Rhino gets the missile warning from that aircraft, or that missile, that SD-10, and breaks away from it, but it just allows Dizzy to get even closer to Rhino. Still 10 miles away. But all of these missiles that Rhino thinks that he has to defend are increasing the closure rate for both Dizzy and Riker. Oh, Dizzy's a her. You are right, Riker. That is correct. So Dizzy trying to run down Rhino still. Rhino looks like he's recommitting. No, he broke away. Thought better of it. Dizzy now in a full cold chase scenario against Rhino. SD-10 now being launched from Aspen. And down here to the south, Grippin is just totally on his own, running away from Breeze and Nate Dogg. So this is the more pressing incursion up here. Rhino still low, full gate. Trying to dodge all kinds of incoming missiles. Dizzy's jet still full close onto Rhino. SC10 now coming off from Dizzy. Let's actually go to quad so we can see everything. Trying to give you guys F5 views, but I can't yet as they're not close enough. And Rhino's just having to defend all kinds of things that are coming for his face. He's in a world of trouble. He's being pursued by 2 aircraft. There are, count them, 5 missiles in the air on his jet. Down here to the south, Grippin is still trying to get away from Nate Dogg and Breeze. He's doing a pretty good job of it. Rhino's still running from Dizzy and Riker. I'm actually going to flip this one to... Nate Dogg. So we can see Nate Dogg on cameras 3 and 4, and then we've got Rhino and Dizzy on 1 and 2. Rhino's still full cold. Dizzy's trying to close. She's trying to make something happen here. Nate Dogg is 10 miles behind Grippin, meanwhile, down to the south, so they're closing down there. And we've just got 2 full cold tail chases. GC, Rhino, and Grippin being heavily pursued by the 6 remaining combatants of Eclipse Task Force. Missiles everywhere. Grippin now looks like he's thinking about recommitting into this fight against Nate Dogg. There it is. So Nate Dogg is now head-on against Grippin. Gets a missile lock onto Grippin with his PL5. 2.5 miles away. I like that he's waiting on the launch. There goes the PL5 onto Grippin. That's going to connect, and Grippin gets taken down. He is gone. And meanwhile, Dizzy finally gets a missile off onto Rhino, and that connects. So simultaneously, Grippin and Rhino recommit, but they both eat PL5s. I guess they felt that is all they had left, and they both get taken down simultaneously within 5 seconds of one another. Man, that was a rough go of it for Golden Crown. Very rough go. As Eclipse Task Force again has 6 pilots remaining, and I don't believe they're going to make them RTB. With 6 pilots remaining, I don't think there's a reason for us to watch them RTB. Man, that was rough. Golden Crown got bamboozled. 12 losses, no kills. 2 disconnects. Yeah, but Breeze, I'm sure you had to RTB, but there's no point in us watching you guys RTB. It's just, you have 6 pilots remaining. One of you at least is going to make it back. There's no reason for us to focus on that. So, our next matchup, let me take a look, it's going to be Wednesday. We're not going to do one tomorrow because I'm going to try and get more cameras set up here and make that happen. So our next matchup is, today was Eclipse Task Force versus Golden Crown. So put on the 10th. Our next matchup is going to be Joint Task Force France. Have we seen that one yet against Grim Reapers? I don't remember if we saw that one yet or not. I'm getting confused at where we are in the schedule. So tomorrow's match is going to be a surprise. That's what we'll just say. I got to talk to Alpha Whiskey, see where we are with the supercuts and stuff. Tomorrow, or not tomorrow, Wednesday's match will be a surprise. Navy Doc says we've already seen Joint Task Force France against Grim Reapers, so we won't see that one. That means next match is going to be 64th Aggressors against TAW. That will be tomorrow's match. Diamond League again, Wednesday's match, not tomorrow. Wednesday's match will be 64th Aggressors against TAW. I think that'll be a solid one. Will 64th be able to reclaim and get a victory? They lost to TAW last time in a 2-1 event. Will 64th be able to make something happen in this one? I don't know. We're going to have to see. That'll be Wednesday's match. I'm going to try and get VMix working tomorrow, so no match tomorrow. Just be aware. No match tomorrow, because I'm going to work on getting multiple cameras because we are to the point where we can make all that happen. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, That'll be Wednesday, 1600 Zulu. 64th Aggressors taking on TAW. Fly safe in those virtual skies, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Say the leash and one head.